Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Project0, which is a new borrowing DeFi lending protocol, and it has some very interesting things that I want to talk to you about. This is especially important for Solana OGs, people that have deposited specifically inside of MarginFi in the past. Now, I have created a document that explains what this airdrop is, who should do it, and why should someone do it. So first of all, the link for Project0 will be on my airdrop Excel guide in the Solana tab. It's here, .0. I could call it Project0, doesn't really matter. But let me talk to you about why would you want to deposit on it. So I know a lot of people here are Solana OGs. Many of you remember the MarginFi platform. It was a leading DeFi platform inside Solana. They never tokenized. But right now, Project0 is the new venue from MarginFi, 1.1 conversion from MarginFi to Project0 points will be happening, but to take advantage of it, you need to take a deposit in the platform before October 8th. Now, why is that important? If you were a MarginFi user, you probably had big deposits in the past, but to get your points, you have to deposit on Project0. Otherwise, you are going to be losing your points. So the important thing is that you deposit before October 8th in this platform so that you keep your points from MarginFi. And why would you want to do that? First of all, if you don't do it, or if other whales don't do it, we had like 400 million, 600 million in the past deposited on MarginFi. There are a lot of whales that don't do it because there's not exposure to it right now. Not a lot of people know about it. So a lot of people will be missing out on their points. If you do it, you get a points multiplier. So that's very, very important. If you deposit right now, you are going to get a multiplier on your points, and other people may lose their points. So what you got to understand is that this gives you a huge benefit. If you had $10,000, let's say on MarginFi, your $10,000 might be valued at 50% extra just by the multiplier. So it seems like we had increased exposure to that project. Second of all, other people that get hundreds of thousands of dollars may lose their points because they don't deposit on Project0. So essentially your allocation and your points will be a lot more valuable than what they were in the past. Second of all, it's very helpful because you diversify your portfolio. So you don't have to do a big deposit. I have specifically deposited just 1% of my account value there, and I will show you exactly what I did. And the utility is very, very strong. So this platform, what it does is it aggregates your DeFi positions and you can borrow unified across your positions. Drift is coming in early November. Camino is coming on October 8th. If you know about Camino, if you know about Drift, Jupiter, all of these positions that exist in these platforms, also Save Finance is coming. All of the big, let's say, lend borrow platforms of Solana will be in here because the utility is very, very strong. And the unified borrow allows you to borrow across all your positions super simply. So this builds on top of the current DeFi and lending platforms of Solana, and it allows a lot better efficiency in lending and borrow. So the utility is strong and the adoption will probably be very, very strong. The token generation event is going to happen at, let's say the Solana breakpoint, which is late 2025. So it's going to happen about 3 months. So the tokenization event is not that far away. And there will be token discussions on October 15th and forward to prepare for TGE, tokenomics, whatever. So this is important because discussions will fuel the tokenomics. So that's also very nice. And again, there's one thing that is very, very important. TGE will happen with all of these tabs ready. There will be strategies, will probably be what we call vaults. Pay will allow you maybe to close positions or, deposit money through Web2. And after TGE, late December, where all of these Solana platforms have integrated with ease and Unified Borrowed has improved and they have grown their TVL and all of the capital efficiency stuff, they're going to put trade here. So why do we care about this? This is a potential huge moneymaker, guys. Keep in mind, trading platforms are what makes crypto very profitable. And the best airdrops are through trading. So this trade tab is different. The trade tab will come after TG, which will boost the value of the platform. And essentially what they will do is they will unify margin from Hyperliquid, Jupiter, Drift, and potentially other trading platforms in Solana or Web3. So if you have, let's say, a position with $10,000 margin on Hyperliquid and you are losing this trade, you might have a Jupiter position that is very profitable. By aggregating your margin, you are not going to get liquidated on Hyperliquid because of your Jupiter position. Now you can understand across crypto, especially for whales and big, traders, this is very helpful because it allows them a lot of safer bets. Let's say on Jupiter, you want to put huge longs due to the volume and the open interest that Jupiter allows due to their deposits. You may have a very profitable Bitcoin trade there. But for example, on Hyperliquid, you have a sort that is not profitable. By unifying the margin, you make your trading safer. And that's a potential huge money maker for this platform. And they will be taking probably a small amount of cut for this exposure. But this is a very nice, important utility. And I think a lot of perpetual platforms will want to build on it. So the integrations will be super heavy. And I think this provides an extra value post-DG. Also, the first tokenomics discussed by the team, which we can see here. Let me show you exactly. So if you click on your wallet here, you can read more here. So you can get all of the information I'm talking about right now. So, there's a lot of TGE tokens at the initial airdrop. So the discussions will start with an exposure of about 20% initial airdrop. 15% of that will go to users with no vesting, 4% probably to whales and integration partners, so the apps that support it, like Amino, Drift, Save, Jupiter, whatever else comes here, and this will be vested. So, and there is also 1% to a single user. I don't think that's really true, but yeah. So I think this is going to change a little bit. Maybe 20% goes to users. There is also user incentives post-DG. So another 20% will be given to grow the product. So another 20% will be used on the positions like Camino does. Camino uses vaults and distributes 20%, a big part of their token to enhance the APY of the vaults. And then investors and team is another 40%. So that's not big, and they will all be vested. So that's a fine percentage in all honesty. And then there will be a 20% to the foundation. And this will be managed by token holders. So this could be for staking rewards specifically. So the tokenomics look good. We have a TG date. We've got clear dates of integrations, multipliers. Everything is pretty clear. So as you can see, everything is obvious. Drift main, isolated market, save main market are all completed developments. And probably Jupiter Land is also coming as well. But Jupiter Land has to be open source. Also, there is also potential for Loopscale, Exponent, and a lot of other people to integrate with it. And they want to go cross-chain with Aave, Hyperliquid. Let's see if they are able to do it. So this is a very, ambitious project with a clear utility. Like it's very obvious that this is very useful. So it's good to secure your all points because, you did the work in the past. You can secure also multipliers while others may be losing their points. And if this goes well, if this really works, if this really is deeply integrated and works as expected, it might have tremendous value. Like, let me tell you, okay, so Drift has like a valuation of 600 million, all right? Let's start with it, 600 million. Camino, let's go to Camino, has a value of about another 600 million, okay? So you can think of it like being about 200 to 300 million fully diluted valuation, and about 60 million of that is going to be airdropped. That's my expectations of it as I look at it right now. But having all of these other integrations, deep integrations, the potential value could be higher. So I think it's worth it to at least, get your old positions back, get your old points back, and just see how it goes. So let me show you what I've done after all of this huge video done. First of all, you got to go and lend. There are various tokens here and you want to supply on Project X. They've got okay APYs, nothing insane to be completely honest with you. But if you have LSTs, you can just deposit LSTs. There's also some points boosts on specific deposits. And what I've done is I have deposited a variety of capital, as you can see on my portfolio. A very nice dashboard as well, showing your health, deposits, borrows, and collateral. So I have deposited some Solana for safety. I have deposited also some USDC, which I have looped with USDT. So how have I done it? Let me show you exactly how I've done it. So I've went to markets and I've went to USDC and let's say I supply, and here you can loop with this button very easily, native looping. You select USDT here, USDT, and then let's say you have a deposit here, you can select your leverage. So here you can see the net APY. And as you increase this, your total APY drops down because borrowing is a lot costlier than lending. But you could go with about 2x leverage with a very small negative APY, then you deposit all and your total APY is positive. So this is how you build up a strong position inside Project X to get advantage of the multipliers. I think that's quite fair and quite powerful. And this is what happens with every position here. And you know, Project0 benefits from the unified borrowing stuff and of course the lending and supplying. So they take a small cut probably. And yeah, that's the idea. That's how it goes about. And they have quite a lot of deep integrations, which is okay, which is nice. I gotta say it's totally fine. So that's all. Just think about it. If you had a margin 5 position, that looks cool. Also right now, there is really no DeFi platform, lend, borrow on Solana to farm. So this is very farmable with a very potential upside. So make sure, you know, to at least try to get your points back and your multipliers and see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you on the next video.